Hey, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to the Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to the Mike Wagner Show at gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the donate listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We've got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online for all your web design needs at sonicwebstudios.com. The Mike Wagner Show brings you interesting people doing interesting things all across the globe. Now, let's get started on The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Hey everyone, it's Mike Wagner from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 800-303-3960. That's 800-303-3960, or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. Also on Facebook at thefacebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. Also heard on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Could also take the Mike Wagner Show wherever you go on your tablet, smartphone, Android, iPhone, or you can try Alexa. Just say, Alexa, play the Mike Wagner Show on iHeartRadio, and she'll be glad to do it for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a singer out of New Jersey. He's also got a DJ. He's got a great show that he just put out with some great guests. He is also a host, entertainer, his own podcast, and of course, he likes to sing on the internet. And of course, you know, here he is, the one and only. We've got an up-and-coming talent from the Jersey Shore. He's got his own band and quite a story, Micky Gallina. Micky, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Mike Wagner. It's nice to talk to you, and thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on here. Of course, you've been in New Jersey for a while, and of course, you know, you're a singer, DJ, a host, you got your own podcast. And first of all, before we get into all of that, tell us how you got started.
Well, like which part?
Well, first of all, how you got in the entertainment business? You can start as a singer, you can start as a DJ or guitar. So pick which one and tell us how you got started.
Okay, well, I started back in the day when I was pretty much, I was always in music ever since I was a young kid. My first instrument that was ever given to me, I was about 5 years of age. It was given to me by my grandfather. And I learned harmonica, and then later on I was learning guitar at the age of 8 years old. And then things started to really grow more so pretty much when 2007, because in between that, I got involved with two bands that never really wanted to travel, but they were called Hurricane. Was one of the bands. And then there was another band that it didn't seem that important because it didn't strike me that well. But then I started working on trying to create two different bands myself. I actually haven't spoke about this one band name that I created back in 2013. And the name of the band was actually called Interquest. It was two guys and two girls. And we were kind of like that combination of like a cover band maybe to the Mamas and the Papas kind of thing, you know, and so forth. But then that didn't go. So now I created this other band called New Visions, and New Visions has started off on, believe it or not, it was July 21st. We all came together, and that was myself and Carl Leitz, who is also a good friend and bandmate of mine. I met him in an open mic night and the Rivera's here in New Jersey, and that's how we kind of got together here and started doing our band. We're going to be on the Micky Gallina podcast show tomorrow night. New Visions and Ziggy will be together on my show, the Micky Gallina Show, and that will be at 8 p.m. tomorrow night. Just to give a little plug of that. And you can find us on the WC Lounge podcast on Facebook Live. Also, to elaborate a little more, I'm not only just a host for a show, but I'm also a singer and songwriter and musician, just to add in that. And I'm also been recording. I've recorded already 2 CDs already that I've already released. These 2 CDs, particularly, one is not available anymore, but because you have to be able to get, the music to be able to put on there. So that kind of got messed up when I recorded in Florida. But anyway, the first album was just me, Micky G, which was kind of a 2-song recorded and a 24-song cover. And then I did this other album called Because of You, where I wrote this CD and I put it out. And so that CD is possibly to record as available, but I really like to push the new music that's coming. And I have 2 albums, actually, believe it or not, coming out, a Greatest Hits and a Bands album that's coming out. And the 2 first albums that are coming out is called Reflections of a Musician and Too Much Love Will Kill You. Micky Gallina's presenting of those 2 CDs. Then I also have a Greatest Hits CD coming out, and I also have a band album from New Visions of Carl and me, and my recording producer, who all happens to be a member of the Gripweeds, who we are working from House of Vibes, is correct. And we are releasing a new, first only new band album from New Visions, and we call it Kickstarter. And that will be releasing sometime, maybe perhaps late 2019. It's kind of got started, so we'll have to see. Maybe out 2019, 2020. Don't hold me to it. We'll just see how long it takes, because you got to think, travels and everything else. You got to do what you got to do, and you got a lot of money you got to put into it when you're making a CD. So if anybody wants to be a recording artist, it takes a lot. You have to put a lot of money into it, and you just hope that for what you put in, you hope you get a lot of love and a lot of support, and you just really hope it'll sell. And so that's pretty much what's happening at this point. But also what crossed me over from being an independent artist to being where I was once upon a time a tribute artist. I used to work as Elvis Presley. I used to be a tribute artist to John Lennon, tribute artist to Frank Sinatra, a tribute artist to, as I said, Michael Jackson, John Lennon, Elvis Presley, and just a combination of a lot of people, Bob Dylan. Also, too, I even auditioned for America's Got Talent back in January of 2017.
Nice.
Going for season 12. I didn't make it, but it was a lot of fun trying, met a lot of great people. I also, if you check out the YouTube, you can go into and you'll see ADTV. It's a public access that was broadcasting in the Jersey and New York City area. And we were on TV back on September the 14th, 2016. And we're on YouTube now, so if anybody wants to see the previous shows, some things I've said back then have changed now, but the 2 great songs that I wrote now are 5 years old each, Will You Miss Me When I'm Gone and Just Me, Micky G. And they are available to be heard on YouTube. And if you want to buy it on the Because of You CD, you can, message me on Facebook, send me a message, and we could go from there.
And where can you purchase the music?
If you're going to purchase it, you have to just contact me. I do it kind of in a manual, independent way where they meet me through Facebook or through the media, talk to me or whatever, and I do it manually because right now with doing it with iTunes and all that, I did do it for a while, but I didn't feel that the process was helping much, so I decided to reach out to my fans as doing it independently in a sense where they can actually come to me, talk, meet the artist, and they would get it directly from me where they could buy the album, and I would send it out directly to them. So I've been, in touch basis sense. I do it as in a personal but kinder sort of way, where if they want to buy it from me, and at least they're meeting the artist by talking to me through Messenger or on the phone. There are times when I've been able to talk with them on the phone, and I would tell them what they are, and if they are interested in that or whichever album that I had available, then that's how it would be. And they would tell me where they're located, and I would mail it out to them, autograph it, and they would have a copy.
That sounds like a great idea, almost like the old days of doing it, where it's like somebody writes you, hey, could I have a CD album, tape it in, and just send it out. They give you a check, cash, money order, whatever. I mean, that's like a nice throwback these days. In fact, I'm thinking about doing that myself, too. And, of course, we're here with Micky Gallina, New Jersey singer, DJ. He's got his own podcast. We'll get to that, but first of all, let's talk about his 3 songs, Reflections of a Musician, Beautiful Liar, and Also Because of You. First of all, tell us about what the song is about and describe maybe in some detail about the music.
Okay, well, Reflections of a Musician, but first of all, I want everybody to know I am not originally from New Jersey. I do live here, but I'm originally from Florida. And I want people to realize where my roots start from. I'm from Florida. But I am living out here in New Jersey, and I am working my music and writing and producing in New York City from traveling from Jersey to New York. And I'm plugging this brand new song that I had wrote, and the name of the song that I had wrote, and I actually had a co-writer who wrote with me on this wonderful song. She's a dear friend of mine. Her name is Pamela Adams, and she is from North Carolina. We corresponded over the phone, wrote this song. She detailed a couple of lines. I finished it off in my poetry of magic of writing, because this is how I write. And the name of the song is called Reflections of a Musician, and it's about reflecting off all the artists who have inspired me over the years. And let's give it a plug. Reflections of a Musician by me, Micky Gallina. Take it away, Mike.
Yes, that's a really good song. And, of course, I'm going to say this. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Mike Wagner Show, here's Micky Gallina with Reflections of a Musician. So I hope I did that well for you.
Thank you. And the artists are not allowed to be known yet until the release of it, but it's getting its first release tonight on the Mike Wagner Show.
Okay.
And the only one who could be known about it is the writers and the players, and that's me and Pamela Adams. But the rest of the people, I cannot reveal their names until the actual date of the release. So we're giving this a preview release tonight here on the Mike Wagner Show.
All right, that sounds very.
Mike.
All right, that sounds very good. And also, we'll get to some of your other things like unique upbringing and how you got started with the podcast.
We will elaborate one more person. Rick Ryle from the Grip Reeds happens to be a part of this song, and I will mention his brother Kurt Ryle is on the drums. But the rest of the people I can't give away, not yet.
That's fine. Okay, we'll keep it secret right here, and of course, we'll get to some of your other ventures as well too. First of all, I'd like to remind you they're listening to the Mike Wagner Show on the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking a budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom-designed web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, on the Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. Also heard on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And you also got some tunes on Spotify as well. And don't forget to mention, you can be heard on Spotify. You there, Micky?
I'm still here.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that to you. Your songs are on Spotify. And We'll get to a couple yours in a minute here. Let's talk about Beautiful Liar as well, too, and tell us a little bit about that, and also your other song, Because of You.
Okay, speaking of my song Beautiful Liar, I had co-wrote it with another writer. She was someone I had met on Facebook, and believe it or not, you can meet so many interesting people on Facebook. And I met so many good people, and her name is Wanda Crowder Burnsworth. She is going to be my guest on the Micky Gallina Show coming up on the date of Christmas Day at 8 p.m. that night. And that night, everyone, to let you know, it's the day of my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. Yes, I will be having my birthday, which is Christmas Day, and my birthday. And I'll be 47. I'll tell you my age.
Well, happy birthday to you. You got about three more before we hit the big 5-0 with Santa Claus or something and celebrating with him and Jolly
yeah. Santa, bring me some magic. Thank you.
There you go on the big 5-0.
And bring a little magic to everybody out there listening as well. Okay. On the Mike Wagner Show.
There you go. There you go. So, well, of course, we can check out your music as well, too. But you had quite a unique upbringing. And first of all, just tell us all about it. We love hearing a compelling story about how you're raised.
How do I what?
How you were raised. It's like, from,
how was I raised?
Correct,
okay.
Yes.
Well, I was born in Florida. I was born in 1971 in Florida. And I have, by a woman by the name of Sharon, was my mother. And my father, God rest them souls, both souls, my mother and my father are gone. But they did raise me, and I had at least two brothers, a twin sister, and that's all I recall of the first part of the marriage. And then I found out I had half brothers and sisters when I was 13 years of age, but did find out when I was about 4 or 5 that I had another sister coming from my mother's second marriage and so forth. Not that I like to throw about that, but it happens. We all have those kind of families.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I grew up with having 2 sisters who survived. Sadly, I heard of a brother that I had, but he had passed away before I was even born. And I had a twin sister who happened to be, sadly to say, she had died at the age of 5 on our birthday. I'm so sorry to
Very sorry.
have to share that news, but it's a tough time because I know that my twin sister and I celebrated for our first 5 years, and then it was our goodbye on our 5th birthday. And so that's a little hard. So please show your love on me on that one.
Yeah.
So as far as all goes, I grew up for a few years in Florida, and then I was moved over to Long Island, where I lived in Port Jeff and grew up there. I went to school, got my education out there and so forth. And hello to everybody who went to Comswag High School and everybody that lived out there. That was the high school we went to, and Clinton Avenue and JFK, John F. Kennedy, great schools. I'll never forget. I could tell you a little story about John F. Kennedy. I was standing there in the wind one day, and I had a $5 bill in my hand. It flew up, went up to the water tower, flew back, and next thing I know, as I'm walking, it landed right back in my hand as I was going home.
Oh, my gosh.
Can't exactly explain how that happened, but it happened. It was magic beyond that I can't even explain. So I got my $5 back.
Oh, that's a good twist of fate there, I'll tell you that.
Yes, it sure was. It sure was. And, because I was like with element of surprise, like, how did this happen? But it did. But it did. So that's magic in itself, a little that, and believe it or not, it happened around Christmas time. So you never know, believe and keep dreaming, because someday you'll make it if you just keep believing.
That's all I can do at this point. That's very, very inspirational. And, of course, you got your Micky Gallina podcast that's on Facebook, and you got on quite a few sources. But first of all, what got you interested? Okay. What got you interested?
You could find my show on the WC Lounge podcast, and also you can connect to our New Visions band page as well. So you just go on Facebook, you can connect by typing in the WC Lounge podcast, type in New Visions, that's spelled N-U, capital N-U, lowercase u, capital V-I-S-I-O-N-S. And you could find us, MNC, you'll see that's Mickey and Carl, and you can find us on the New Vision band page. And we welcome you. So if you want to be a member on the page, hey, we welcome you. We're working on a new album. It's coming out soon. My solo stuff is coming out as well. And I'm also working with Carl to try to get some of his solo stuff out as well. So I'll be backing up for him on some solo CDs for him in the future. But at this point, he's backing me up on my solo CDs as well as our together band that we're calling Kickstarter for the new CD that's going to be releasing soon. And speaking of the first song that we had been working on, we just recorded it on December 7th. We're still not finished with it, but we'll throw a little bit of the of that out. We'll give you the title, the name of it, because when you hang around with New Visions, our first title is Never a Dull Moment. It's always an exciting thrill. So, as you can tell, I wrote the title and the song, but for the few lines, it was amazing for what Carl came in with. He and I were talking on October 10th, and that's when we wrote it. We kind of put it down for a moment. I had to do 2 shows in Florida, which I played back my old tribute show where I played as Michael Jackson. And matter of fact, if you ever want to see a Michael Jackson Resurrection show, I created this 6 years ago, where I do like a Houdini Michael Jackson combination of illusion, where I actually popped out of the casket, kind of bringing the soul of Michael alive inside of me. It's kind of all magic. I don't play too much with the Ouija boards, but I'm just saying, I brought it to life. It was a great show. It was good. So if you ever want to see the video, you can see it. It's on Facebook. I put it out there. Also too, I do also house shows. So like, if you invite me to perform at your house, I could do holiday shows and all that, and we'll talk about price and negotiations and whatever, and I do that as well. Matter of fact, there's a lot of other celebrities who do it off the side too. I mean, like, to give a plug for Mr. Mark Dawson, a friend of mine from Florida, Orlando. He's lead singer of the Grassroots, great guy. And he also does house shows separately from simulcasts, and he also does it separately from Grassroots, where he does his own, and he's put out a lot of his own solo CDs as well. He's a great musician, great guy, ukulele, guitar, banjo, he does it all. So to give my good friend Mark Dawson a plug from Orlando, Florida, who's also the lead singer of the Grassroots. And if some of you didn't know, the lead singer used to be Rob Grill. But now, Mark Dawson is the lead singer of the Grassroots. He's been with them for so many years. But anyway, so now back to Micky Gallina. That's me. Hi, with the Mike Wagner Show. So, okay, I get a little, we get a little lost sometimes, but you got to pull it back like you're taking a fishing pole and you're trying to catch that fish, and you got to bring it back. So, but welcome to the zany part of the show now. Okay, here we go. So we're gonna plug. So we're gonna get ready to plug a song now. Are we ready to plug a song?
Yeah, we're gonna be ready to plug a song a little bit later on too, and of course, like I said, we'll probably have it on afterwards. But
sure.
First of all, just want to get to the part about the Grassroots and how you met Mark Dawson. How'd you guys first meet, by the way?
Well, Mark Dawson was playing with a band, but before that band, he was on Facebook, and we had connected, and I'm not sort of sure how we did, but we did. It just sort of kind of landed in that way. So I remember we got connected, and it was on September 11th. Now, speaking of September 11th, of the original date that it took place at a very scary time in New York City, and this was in, if I remember the year, it was 2001, to be correct?
It was 2001, yes.
Right. That's, if I remember the year, because I remember the day so well, but the year sometimes escapes me. Now, I remember I was out visiting in New York. I was seeing, I have a son who is now 27. His name is Anthony. He works for, he's a newscaster now. He runs the equipment and everything in behind the scenes from what I know of. And my daughter also is 28. I have a son and daughter named Christina and Anthony, two beautiful kids, all grown now. But anyway, how I came across to meeting Mark, I actually was taken by a friend to go to SeaWorld in the Busch Garden area there in Florida. And I remember me and Mark were a little bit in a punchy state, in a sense, where we were, let's just say, enjoying food back then. As much. I mean, I lost a lot of weight since those days, folks, and so is he. And well, anyway, we met. Sorry, Mark. Well, we connected where he was playing with a band called Simulcast, and we had met, and I came behind the stage, and there's a picture of me and him, which I'll show in my show, where you'll get to see a picture of me and him together when you come on and we do the show the 29th. I'll show it then. And there's a picture of me and him where he's holding his bass and we're standing next to each other. We're both in different sort of hats. I had like my French English beret hat on and leather jacket, and he had on his kind of like a suit kind of jacket, like white and kind of candy cane kind of shirt. And he had like this cowboy hat on kind of thing. And this is how we had met for the first time. And then I remember when he was releasing CDs, he was putting out picks and everything. And he sent me one with a very special note connected to it, wishing me much love and success in my music endeavors and careers and so forth. And he's just been a great supporter to me, and as I have been to him. And then I had found out about him being with the Grassroots, which prior to my moving from Florida to New Jersey over 4 years ago, we happened to come across meeting again, where he and his wife, Kathy, drove over, told the 10 other people to stay behind from the gate of the outside of the theater in Ruth Eckerd Hall, and motioned me to come over and kept everybody else away. And we communicated, and all I can say, it was a great conversation, and that was between me and him and all that. I don't want to share that part because it was good, but no need to speak about it because that was among friends.
That's fine.
Nobody wants to say everything, but thank you very much for allowing me to speak what I could speak of. And it was great. And it was kind of almost like a sad hello and a sad goodbye in a way, because it was really sad in the fact because I was leaving Florida and coming to Jersey, which, hello, Florida people. I'm going to be coming home in 2 years. I just have to finish some work out here in Jersey before I can go back.
Yes, that's a good thing, too. And, of course, you're listening.
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll talk more about your Micky Gallina.
So get out your tissues, everybody, because that was an emotional story.
Oh, my gosh. You know what?
Right.
I had a hard time trying to find some Kleenex. Oh, my goodness. I have to get my wife, Serena. Serena, give me some Kleenex. Okay, so here we go. Thank you. I love you.
Mike, I'm sending you one through the phone, okay?
Sounds good.
I know, it was so emotional. I'll be okay. Are you okay? Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like that could be something you could see on your podcast as well, too. And by the way, we'll talk more about your podcast. Once again, you're listening to The Mike Wagner Show on the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. If you're looking for a professional website without breaking a budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, professional custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also on the Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. I encourage everybody to like, share, be a friend, and take part of it. Also heard on SoundCloud, Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. So just take us wherever you go. We're here with Micky Gallina, New Jersey singer, DJ, host of the Micky Gallina Show. And what got you interested in podcasting, especially in the Micky Gallina Show?
Well, how that all got started was I have been seeing different podcasts that have been going on Facebook, and I have taken a crack at the DJing and all that, and you know, back in the earlier days. And I tried to do things with having different guests. You know, I've had some independent artist guests that have come on my show, you know, and some of those moments were good and restless. So then I had to take a break and focus on what I wanted to do as a soloist. And then I said, as time did pass on, I ended up meeting a young man at an open mic night, and that's how we became New Visions. Now, we had two other guys, but they were more kind of complex with separate bands of their own. Like, speaking of Ziggy, he's a 26-year-old young man who happens to be involved with a band called Killer Logic, and he's going to be my guest tomorrow night on the Micky Gallina Show on WC Lounge podcast. He'll be on the Micky Gallina Show tomorrow night. Now, how the whole podcast of the Micky Gallina Show come to life was a combination of like Johnny Carson meets Wayne's World, Ed Sullivan, you know, kind of if you think about all those combinations of those shows. You know, now there were some parts of shows of looking in the past of what I've created since the 4th of December to now, where we had the dry sensibility of a show like Jerry Seinfeld, like, if you know nothing, then I know nothing. And
yada, yada, yada.
Right. Okay. And we had a show like that. And I brought memories and tributes where I came out dressed and done a John Lennon segment where I performed John Lennon in memory of John Lennon as we lost him on the 8th back in 1980 on December.
That was a very sad moment.
And it was a very, very sad moment. A very, very emotional moment. And I know I was young, but I remember. And it just chokes me up even trying to say it. But, you know, and then creating the whole set, the New Visions kind of saw off the Micky Gallina Show. We started it together, where Carl and I interviewed each other. Mm-hmm. And we, you know, so it was sort of like, you know, you kind of got to go a little, when you're making a show, you get a little clumsy. Then some people go to you, well, why do you say your name 1,000 times on the show? Because if we don't, how are they going to know what show we're doing?
Good point.
Right?
Good point.
So, right. So, you know, when you say, it's the Mike Wagner Show, and stay tuned for the Mike Wagner Show, or stay tuned for the Micky Gallina Show, you got to say it as many times as you can. And if that bores you, well, then sorry, because we are trying to make a show, and other people want to hear that. We, you know, and we want to bring our audience because we love our audience, and we're happy for our audience. But, you know, our most important of all is our audience. But, yes, the most important of all is our guests, because we want to make our guests feel welcome and comfortable. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, you have certain guests that come on the show, and you got to treat them with kid gloves. You got to make them feel like they're loved, like it's your son or your daughter, you know, or like a brother or a sister in that combination, or even like your mother or father. Mm-hmm. So it's like when I had a special guest on, and I'm going to bring his name out, his name was Eddie Deason. I brought him out. He is such a dear man, very kind man, and I wanted him to feel loved and appreciated, and he was. Now, he's always been loved and appreciated for many years. I see he's got a great following, and people love him to death. And now he's from the movie Polar Express, and he's from the movie Grease 1 and 2. But his favorite movie most of all, and I can tell you, is I Want to Hold Your Hand. And that's a great movie. I love it. It's one of my favorites.
The Fab Four, that's right. A huge Beatles fan.
Right.
And did you ask him any Beatle trivia?
We had spoke a little bit of that, but I didn't really go too much into the whole Beatle trivia thing. But with Ringo Klaus was his character on I Want to Hold Your Hand. So it was more like he was more of himself. We didn't really get into that, but he's going to come back. We're going to do more. So it's like we got to talk about a lot of different things. We talked about Punky Brewster when he was on there. We talked a lot about a lot of different things, and he was just amazing with everything. And we played off a couple of games where we said, I said, like, if you talk about sunsets and rainbows, well, he mentioned rainbows. because, hey, we all got to keep dreaming, and the rainbows will, if we keep believing, will take us to where we need to be.
That's right, too. And, of course, we had Eddie Deason on the Mike Wagner Show, too, and I gave him some Beatles trivia.
Wonderful.
And I have to say this, is that, and I gave him some Beatles trivia. I can't remember which one, and he said that you're the first DJ that's ever stumped me. I said, I did not intend to, but he is just very, very knowledgeable and very knowledgeable about baseball, and maybe in baseball season, you guys can talk baseball. He's a huge Pittsburgh Pirates fan.
Yes, we did mention that. He spoke about how he liked his team. He liked the Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that was his favorite team, now that I recall. It was his favorite baseball team. We spoke a little bit briefly about that. There's more things that we could more elaborate, but for the most part, he spoke a lot. He was just amazing all the way through it. We talked about his movies, because a lot of people that were watching that night were very intrigued with Grease. They liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Even to make it worth his while, I even got on and I actually did Sandy and Beauty School Dropout as 2 songs to intro him into the show.
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, with my show, I entertain the crowd. I bring in my guests. I do like a 5-minute intro, and I do that. So I like to do, like, if you remember different talk shows where you have that, like if you remember Wayne Brady, even now more recent, and some other shows where the host will actually sing a song or two and then bring a guest on. Like Merv Griffin, if you remember.
Oh, I remember Merv Griffin. I've got lovely bunch of coconuts.
That's right, rebroadcasting. Now, I'm working on a special theme for the show, which we might be playing that for the first time tomorrow night, because I've been playing around with so many different songs at this point, my originals, covers, and all that, and then I always do a song. Like, if you were a part of a group or a part of a TV show, I would actually sing the theme or learn to play that theme within that week's time, just to make you welcome to the show. So, like, if there's something that is your favorite, and you say, hey, Mickey, I'd love to hear you do this, I'd do that for you for the show before I introduce you. So this way you'd hear a little bit of that, I bring you on, and we have a great time. We have a great show.
And you also have some other guests as well, too, and who are some other guests that you have that are famous, and your other favorite guests, and what's your most memorable moment on the show?
Well, out of all the guests that I've had, I mean, just to give you a lineup of my past guests that I've had so far, New Visions and New Visions and Ziggy are returning. That's myself and Carl and Ziggy from his band Catalogic. They're coming all together tomorrow night at 8 p.m. on the WC Lounge podcast, the Micky Gallina Show. We're also, in the previous guests, they were New Visions was December 4th, and then I had December 8th, where we did a tribute to John Lennon, and we had Alan Gitlin, who was also on the show.
He's amazing.
I want to bring Alan Gitlin on again. I felt that we could have brought a little more to it, but it was okay. And I thank him for being a part, but I'd like to bring him back in January, which we're going to try to do that again.
Mm-hmm.
To really communicate with him, it just didn't soar as much, but I pretty much kind of had to let him take the floor and just say what he wanted to, because I didn't know really where to go with him. So my apologies to Mr. Alan Gitlin. But when I'm a little more knowing of who you are and what you are and what you do, it makes it more easier on you and me. And Alan, if he and I had just communicated a little more before this show that we did, I think it could have soared a little more.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, he's going to get another chance. I'm always welcoming back a second, third, fourth in time, to always give it that opening, because I always want to make my guests feel welcome. Sometimes it can get a little nervous because you don't know the person, and you're just trying to make them feel comfortable as much as they're trying to make you feel comfortable.
Or
that
just
happens.
Or just laugh along with them as well, too.
Right, that's true, and you just kind of roll with it and be the best that you can be with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a little tough sometimes on a host. So
right.
as you and I have been speaking now for some time, I got to tell you, I feel so welcome and so comfortable being a part of the show.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you very much
for having me, Mike. I appreciate that. And I also want to mention, we're not done yet, folks. And speaking of more of the other show, like December the 15th, okay, I had Eddie Deason. He was also on my show on December 15th. If I recall, December 15th, that's it. He was on the show, and we had him. And then I had another one, which is now coming up, and that's December 18th, and that's with Ziggy from Kettle Logic and New Visions. We're coming together. And I have some other special guests that are coming in the future. And we got the Christmas show, and previously the Christmas show would be next. We have Joy Clarkson, who's a singer and songwriter, and she's a DJ herself.
Mm-hmm.
And she also is a KJ. She also runs karaoke out there in the beautiful Mims area of Florida and travels and so forth. So God bless her and all her work. And matter of fact, I met her on a cruise ship.
Nice.
And I was on the Flower Power Cruise, and that's how we got all connected with the greatest bands of the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got Rick Ryle as my producer from the Gripweeds. That's how he became my producer. And so to go on the 25th, I have Eric Morris, who's an actor, who's also going to be on my show.
Yes, from Atlanta. Great guy.
And he's, from what I heard, he's a very good guy, very nice. I've had a nice time talking to him just a couple of days ago. And I'm looking forward to having him. Wanda Crowder-Burnsworth, who's the co-writer of our song together, Beautiful Liar, she's going to be joining me, and that will be airing also on my show, on the birthday show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Topher Kirsten, who likes to be known as Chris, is also administrator of the WC Lounge podcast, a wonderful gentleman, and he and I happen to share the same birthday. We are birthday twins, the two of us.
Oh, happy birthday and happy birthday.
Thank you. He was born in 1984. I was born in 1971. So I got a couple of years ahead on him, but that's okay.
It happens to a lot of us, too. And then
right.
I figure throughout my lifetime, I had several people who were born on my birthday. And I'll give it out to you right now. It's May 11th. So I want you to mark down my calendar. And, you can wish me a happy birthday on the WC podcast, Micky Gallina Show, 11th. And everything. Yes, that's right. So do you have pen and paper? Write that down.
Mother's Day.
Yes, that's right. And there's one thing.
Speaking of Mother's Day, I don't mean to put a crink in your style there, Mr. Mike.
It's okay.
But I will say this. I was married on Mother's Day.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was divorced on Ringo Starr's birthday in 1985.
And when was Ringo's birthday?
July 7th.
Oh, my gosh. I was going to say, congratulations, and I'm so sorry. So that's a two right there.
Don't be sorry. Actually, no, folks. That was that was like the biggest birthday present I could have got before my birthday. Because, no offense to the ex-wife. God only knows where she is because I haven't heard from her in years. But as far as I'm concerned, no, that's a big relief. No offense to my children's mother, but may a miracle be happy for her, and that's all I got to say.
No, we understand. And in fact, there's a thing too where half my birthdays fell on Mother's Day, and my lovely wife of 27 years, Serena, and I love her. I love you, Serena. If you're listening, God bless you. She was born on Father's Day, June 15th, which is the same as my youngest sister, just 1 year apart. So that's the best way to remember. My birthday lands on Mother's Day. Her birthday lands on Father's Day, and if they both happen to land
on
Christmas, yes,
Day, every year.
And of course, the thing is that if my birthday lands on Mother's Day, well, we take turns on deciding who celebrates it more. And of course, Father's Day, I'll let her celebrate. And I said, Father's Day to me, it's like every day. So I look at it that way too. So all right,
that's good.
And of course, you've had a lot of favorite guests.
Oh yeah, and I have also two other guests that are coming out in January on my show. They're going to come up in January. Matter of fact, there is talk of a gentleman who taught Elvis karate coming on my show January the 8th. I will be revealing his name on a later date of my show because we don't have a permanent plug with him, but he's a possibility. So we're throwing that as a possibility. But we definitely have I'm definitely going to have an Elvis tribute show because, folks, I used to be an Elvis tribute artist before I wrote and produced, and that just never escapes me. So even though I wrote the song Just Me, Mickey G, I still play the parts. And I'll probably do that until I'm like 90 years old. Anyway, so
declare yourself to live yourself long. Live long and prosper,
right.
they say. Okay, we got a few minutes here.
Yeah. Speaking of December 22nd, I forgot to almost plug. I have a tribute artist who happens to be the name of Vaughn, who is going to be Frank Sinatra. He's a tribute artist to him, and he is going to be on my show on December 22nd. And also Jared Chandler from the New Monkees.
Oh,
okay?
Nice.
And now he and I auditioned for the New Monkees. He got it, but I didn't. And the thing is, I had a nice talk with him the other day, and I said to him, I'm not mad. I understand. It's okay. You were better than I was back then, and I thank you for becoming one of them, because I am a fan and I'm a friend, and I'm glad to have him on my show coming up on December 22nd.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing is, there's another special guest that's coming up on December the 29th. Mr. Mike Wagner.
Really?
Is going to be joining me. Yeah,
Really?
The Mike Wagner Show and the Micky Gallina Show are coming together.
I'm sorry. Who's Mike Wagner? Who's Mike
You.
Wagner again? Oh,
You.
Me. I thought it was an evil twin.
The one and only.
Well, I'll tell you, from a number of conversations we had from connecting with Mr. Steve Joyner, our executive producer, great guy, and a big shout out.
Big plug out for Steve Joyner.
That's right. Yeah, big shout out to Steve Joyner.
Together.
Thank you very much. And of course, with all the conversations we had, I want you to describe the Mike Wagner Show.
Make sure you subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show, folks, and also subscribe to the Micky Gallina Show, too. We want to have you all. We enjoy you. We thank you for being our guest, our audience. And you never know, you might be one of our guests. We might be reaching for you.
That's right, too. And, of course, we have a few minutes here with Micky Gallina. Who would your biggest influences, you would say, when it comes to your career?
In my earlier years, as a kid, I have to name 5. As an adult, I have to name 5. So to name the 5 biggest ones that really intrigued me as a young kid, I would say it would be the Monkees, the Beatles, the Grassroots, the Jackson 5, and Elvis Presley. Okay. And also, I have to add Queen 2 times.
That's right, Freddie Mercury.
Freddie Mercury really inspired me a lot. With the high energy, that's me. If you ever seen me perform, that's me. I'm kind of like a younger version of Freddie Mercury in a way, with a combination of an Elvis and a John Lennon and a Bob Dylan mix, because I love them all. But speaking of the 5 of more of today, I would say the New Monkees have grabbed me more even before and then. As I said, the Monkees too, and Queen, and as I mentioned, and many others like the Gripweeds have really inspired me, and they've been around for 30 years. They've been around since 1988, and they are amazing. And I happen to be so blessed to be working with 2 of the Gripweeds, 2 members of them, and I know all 4 of them. Rick Ryle happens to be their lead guitar player. He's and rhythm guitar player and keyboard player. I'm sorry. He's also lead vocalist. Kurt Ryle is the drummer, also guitar player. Kristen Pennell Ryle, who happens to be the wife of Kurt, and sister-in-law of Rick. She is an amazing vocalist, and she also is the lead guitar player and plays flute. She is an amazing talent, very amazing talent, and give her and the brothers a plug. And also for the third bass player for the Gripweeds, if my mind does not deceive me, because they've had 2 other previous bass players. I think Nick Greaves, I remember, was a bass player from what I remember. But Dave DeSantis is their last but not least bass player that are playing with them, and he's fit into the group so beautifully. And they're all amazing. Just saw them perform as they were releasing their album called Trip Around the Sun, which was amazing because that album was so cool. I remember getting the album, and I was actually flying to Florida. So that was really my trip around the sun and back to Jersey. So, so with experience, and listening to the song on my CD player, it really felt like I was taking the trip with them around the sun, literally. and it felt great, and it's a great album. You guys got to get this album, Triple Run the Sun. I want to give them a plug out there. I mean, because Micky Gallina just doesn't plug himself. He plugs so many others, and if I heard your music and I love your music, or I like it or love it, I still give it a chance because I'm open to a lot of music. As far as rap goes, once upon a time, I heard Mickey Dolenz once say, you put C in front of it, but look, we're not looking to knock, but if you got good rap, like Running DMC used to do with Aerosmith, now that's the kind of rap I can listen to. But as far as concerned, not putting all of you wonderful people who like to rap and get out your messages, but make sure when you're getting out a message, make sure it's received in the best way possible.
Very proper.
And that's what I say about rap.
Very proper.
In a clean-up sort of way.
Very proper, too. That's a very good point. And, of course, before we wrap things up here, tell us about your upcoming projects, your current show, and what's your website, and how do people reach you?
Okay, well, people could reach me by reaching out to me through Steve Joyner. They could reach out through him. They can come connected with me directly by just typing my name in their search engine and type M-I-C-K-Y, no E, G-A-L-L-I-N-A, and no M-O-U-S-E either. And just go into Micky Gallina and type in my name, and you will find me and say hello. Introduce yourself, write to me in a message, let me know who you are. As far as plugging with my show, I'm on the WC Lounge podcast, where you could see my show every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. and every Saturday night at 9 p.m. So Tuesday nights are 8 p.m. Sometimes we go over to 10, sometimes depending on how it goes. So I got my tea, it keeps me awake. We'll be fine. and then we'll go into my Saturday night show, and that's from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m.
And of course, that's
I have
Eastern
many
time.
different guests. Yes, 9 p.m., 10 to 11 p.m., that's Eastern time. And also those other times are 7 p.m. Pacific and also 5 p.m. Pacific on the Tuesday nights. And the other nights on the Saturday, it's 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific for those times on Saturday night. Now, I just want everybody to know, on January 1st is New Year's Day. There's a thing that they do on Facebook where I'm going to take all my videos from all of December, and I'm creating it as a watch party.
Oh,
so
nice.
Through the day and through the night, you will see from December 4th to December 8th, all the way to the end of December, to the January 1st, where I'm going to replay them all Facebook Live, whether they're visual or audio, where you can hear or could see. And I'll be there right there where you can ask me and talk to me, and we'll watch it together.
That is awesome, and we're looking forward to it. Mickey, it's great talking to you. Thank you very much. I'd love to have you on again, give us some Nut Day and Adventures, and I look forward to talking to you soon. And I'm looking forward to being with you on December 29th. At 8 p.m. Central on the Micky Gallina Show. And my daughter, Sarah, will be 21 that day. And if I get with her, she can sing for you.
Let me give you something a little previously for your daughter before that, because she's going to get a preview and she's going to get it all live from now to later. So here we go.
All right.
Special song I'm going to sing early, but I'm going to sing it again on my show as well.
Okay,
so
sounds
good. This is for Sarah. Here we go. A cappella, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. You know what? Wait. Stop. Mike, you and me are going to sing this together on your show right now. Ready? A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah.
21. Happy birthday to you. And the only time I sing great is in this. And the only time I sing good is in the shower, and preferably with the Budweiser. And I'm sure they'll be playing Have a Drink on Me.
That was the first take with me and your dad, Sarah. Now here's the second take with just myself alone.
Okay, go ahead.
Ready? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sarah. Happy birthday to you.
Very nice.
More. cut in
very
the
nice. Yes, very nice. All right, Micky, thank you very much. It's been great.
You're
and look
welcome.
forward to having you on again. I'll be on your show the 29th, and look forward to having you on again. Thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you very much, and have a good night.
You've been listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios at themikewagnershow.com. Visit sonicwebstudios.com today for all your web design needs. If you'd like to be a sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, call or text at 701-301-7705 or email to mike@themikewagnershow.com. If you're a listener and would like to support our program, visit themikewagnershow.com and click on the support button and donate today. Thanks for listening, and tune in again next time on The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com.